Lynette Oxy here for Tax Shack Tactical TV, and I'm here with Paul. Sorry, I've got a sneeze coming. So, sorry.
Don't let me steal your sneeze.
I hope you can. In any case, welcome, Paul.
Hi, viewers. Hi, Lynn. It's gone. Okay. Yeah.
What are we talking about today?
Okay, so, sigh. Let me get this out of the way first. Facebook's community standards.
It's become nuts.
Which is, if anything, it's a double standard. Because, you know, people try and push all sorts of crap, all sorts of pornographic shit on Facebook, which is also not allowed. You complain to Facebook about it and they say, no, we've determined that this post does not contravene our community standards, so it's staying. If you like, you can, you know, unlike and then they don't you know, if you don't want to see this ad again, just press this button, and then the ad comes up again and again and again and again and again. So if anything, Facebook has a double standard, which they're very keen on maintaining. The problem is where it comes to firearms, they are
terrible.
Well, firearms is our field. It might be they might be anti something else as well. I don't know, but I know for a fact that they're anti firearms. Guy and Lynette, you've been banned before for posting ads for hearing protection.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is anyway. So it's very puzzling. Guys ask questions. They post pictures of
ITA manual. That was
the ITA manual. Excerpt from the ITA manual, and they say, does this mean this and this and this? And Facebook bans it because it, oh geez, you know, they like
from years ago.
They like so many years ago in schools, before there was sex education in schools, kids used to find out about sex education behind the bike shed. And you know, there was not typically a very cool way to find out about sex education, because that's how a lot of unwed or teenage pregnancies happened. So the school, the educational authorities realized this, so they started putting in sex ed classes. So teach the kids about it, where you know, where they can get proper advice in the open, not with guns. With guns, you must find out behind the bike shed.
Yeah, and don't even talk about it.
You know, we're really keen on, if you talk about school shootings, we're all anti-school shootings, but nobody's interested in talking about it in the open. They leave you to find out behind the bike shed about school shootings and about anything else. Legislation. I mean, we're there for heaven's sakes. Our purpose in life is to deal with firearms legislation. That's GOSA's purpose in life. People ask questions about firearms legislation. Oh, he mentioned gun. Boom, they bounce him. So over the last couple of weeks, we challenged them, if it's not one of our members who's being stupid, which happens on occasion, but if he's not being stupid and he's not trying to buy or sell or something like that, we challenge it. Every time we challenge it. And typically we get a response from Facebook saying, no, we've decided to keep this down. We've decided it does infringe on our community standards. We've decided to keep it down, and that's the end of the matter. There's no more. There's no further appeal. Yeah. But in the last week, we've had two that are overturned. That Facebook has overturned their.
One with the ITA manual.
Facebook has overturned their decision against us and put the posts back, which. We thought in the beginning of this week, we thought, wow, we got it beat now. They're actually putting the posts back. Within half an hour of putting a post back, they ban another post, which is even more blatantly not contravening community standards than the ones that they've just put back.
Fighting the AI,
it's I don't know. Maybe they're using Google's AI, that Gemini or something like that. Maybe that's why what's going on here. Maybe they're using that dysfunctional AI.
Unfortunately,
anyway.
I think if you're a gun person, I do not think Facebook is. We've got futures.
So that's where the rubber meets the road, Lynette. Thank you. The rubber meets the road here. Facebook is not our friends. They never have been our friends. They are not going to be our friends in the future. We we're heavily, we've got 122,000 members on Facebook. That's a large part of our audience. We cannot keep all of our eggs in one basket anymore. I asked in a poll, it's still on the page, about moving to X, because X is the kind of platform that we need, but it's going to, but in order to do it as an organization to move to X, it's going to cost us some money. So before I move to X, I want to know that we're going to, most of our people, or a large number of our people are going to follow us. We don't want to drop from 122,000 to 2,000. Then we have to start all the way building up from scratch. But the fact of the matter is that our Facebook community is at risk. And it will remain at risk. There's no mitigating this. You know, we a couple of years ago during lockdown, we held meetings, online meetings, Zoom meetings or Teams meetings with the Facebook head, the people in charge of Facebook content moderation in America and in Europe, and we spent, and for a while they backed away from us. They left us alone.
But something has happened in
Something's
the last 2
happened.
months?
Maybe it's spite because of losing Twitter. The left lost Twitter to Elon Musk, and it's become X now, and it's entirely open.
It's totally open. I advertise firearms for Tat Shack on a regular basis.
Yes.
I do not get any
Yes.
back because it's
Yes.
free speech.
And it's not a free for all. There's community notes instead of
Exactly.
community standards. So if you find something which you find objectionable or something's wrong, you make a community note. You can, anybody can make a community note, and you quote your references, why this is not right, etc., and they publish the community note on the article. They don't take the article down, they publish a community note, and you've now been community noted. And then they ask people to comment on whether the community notes are helpful or unhelpful, and to give their reasons. So it continues the
But
debate
that's
in
free
an
speech.
adult fashion. It's free speech,
That's it.
but with controls in an adult fashion.
Yeah.
You know, we must be able to disagree with each other, guys. We're not all going to agree about everything.
I disagree with certain things, but it's up to people to actually believe in what they believe in. But if I
Sure.
want to sell firearms as a legitimate firearm dealer
Yeah,
on a platform,
You
with
should
other
be allowed
people,
to.
I should be allowed to. And there's
Yeah.
no, and Twitter or X has actually allowed it, and it's
Yes.
been very
since the bird was freed
since the bird is freed. Yes, it is actually quite amazing.
by the boy from Waterbeespoort
Yeah.
Dam.
You know, I come from, I was involved in the Freedom of Information Act in South Africa, and it's very important that people are able to speak freely. In
Yeah,
communist countries,
you're not allowed
you're
to.
not allowed to speak.
Yeah.
So if you're not allowed to speak,
Communist countries
something is
like
wrong.
communist countries like Russia, where people get imprisoned for speaking out, or Britain, which has 10 times the number of people imprisoned than Russia does
suddenly
for talking out, for saying things that the government doesn't really consider to be appropriate.
Yeah.
That is communism, guys. We don't want to be there.
By owning a firearm as such,
We're already a target
you're
group.
already a
So anyway,
target.
so the guys, the thing is, please, if you haven't voted on the poll, the Twitter poll or the X poll, which is attached, it's pinned to the top of our page, please go and do so.
And
I'd love to know that I've got some support when I start spending thousands of rands to open a commercial or an organization's Twitter X account.
But start joining X. It is really, it's
You know, if you don't want to see something, don't look at it.
yeah, they welcome us with open arms,
Yes.
which is a difference
Yes.
between
Yeah.
that and Facebook.
Yeah.
Yes, I know we've all been invested in Facebook for a very long
Yes.
time, but
Agree.
you do need
It's
to
not
start
that,
thinking-
guys, it's not that we want to abandon Facebook.
No, it's not
But
like that.
Facebook is desperately trying to kick us out of the nest.
Yeah, so
And at some stage they're going to do it, and we're going to end up being taken down, and then we're going to lose a very valuable communications tool between our community.
Yeah.
122,000 people has taken us years to build.
absolutely.
No one else has got, in the firearms community in South Africa, has got anywhere close to that.
Yeah.
I mean, anywhere. I think the biggest numbers are 30,000, 35,000 apart from us. So guys, we don't want to lose it, but we suspect that they're going to take it away from us. So let's get something happening. Please guys, please, I beg you with one bended knee, don't suggest Reddit or Telegram or whatever else. We've tried those. They don't have the freedom and at the same time having control that we have with Twitter or with X. You don't have the boy from Hartbeespoort Dam who's a strong in the States, a strong 2A Second Amendment advocate. You don't have him owning the platform. Guys, X is where we need to be. We've looked at this for years. Yeah. It is where we need to be. Please, guys.
From a business perspective, from tax side, I have looked, and that is the only way. So I've seen a lot of the dealers have moved, or the wholesalers have moved on to WhatsApp groups and stuff. Yeah. So I do mostly a combination between X and WhatsApp.
But the WhatsApp group is a great communications tool, but it's very limited. It's severely limited. You know, X, you can host videos like this. Yeah. We can host this directly on X without having to go through YouTube. We can engage with our members directly on X as an organization and an organization account. We can do a whole lot more.
Absolutely.
But that is the way for the future for us.
Just something to think about. Okay.
Yeah.
We're talking about
the second bane of our life after Facebook. SAPS. So we've just had this in the last couple of weeks ourselves. We had to take some firearms into stock, not new firearms, collectors' firearms, and the preferences exist on this caliber issue arose again. So what SAPS did a couple of years ago is they threw out the old caliber codes, which relates to each firearm's caliber, and it's on your license card.
Some calibers.
They changed calibers.
From 45 to 9.
Oh God! But yeah, even that's bizarre. But even in like 762 by 39 and 762 by 51 and 762 by 54R, they removed all of the suffixes, so they now became 7.62 rifle.
But now they're back to the...
they all became 7.6...
But now it's back to that?
No, they all became 7.62 rifle. Mm-hmm. Then when you try to renew or do anything, take it onto a dealer's stock or renew your license, they come back to you and say, oh, a preference exists on this caliber. Because of course 7.62 rifle has... all of the other stuff underneath it.
By 39, by 59.
So then you have to go and get a commercial agent's report on observable details, which the SAPs incorrectly refer to as a gunsmith's report. It's not a gunsmith's report. It's a commercial agent's report. A gunsmith is a commercial agent, but so is a dealer. Yeah. Nonetheless, they require that you now go and solve their problem for them. They've now thrown away the proper caliber, but you now have to get a report stating what the proper caliber is, and you have to resubmit it to them, and they have to change it. There are some switched on DFOs, like Michelle in Margate, who will do it in 5 minutes. Then you get people that are not quite that switched on, who will have to submit it to CFR because they're not certain on how to change it on the system. And it can take days, if not weeks, to change, if it ever actually gets changed. And they stop the processing of any paperwork on that license, on that firearm number, until such time as they've satisfied themselves as to the caliber.
Then the license can expire that.
And the license can expire in the meantime. And then it's your problem, because now your license has expired.
So if you have something called 7.62 rifle on your card and you have to have a renewal, you're going to have that problem.
Or 9mm which they've now taken 9mm an HP, which they've now taken 9mm. 9mm Brownings. They're now referring to, if it's a Browning 9mm, a high power, an HP, and it's referred to as a 9mm Parabellum. They've changed that to 9mm Browning. 9mm Browning is 9mm short. So now you've got a caliber problem. They, you know,
and it's never their problem. It always, becomes either the dealer's problem or the
they excuse my language, but they fuck it up and they leave it for us to fix it up. Continually, it's always our problem.
And it keeps changing as well. Stuff in the system
moves
keeps
backwards
changing.
and forwards. In any case, so that's the caliber preference thing. We're going through it again now. We've been discussing it on the Facebook group. We as a gun shop have just been through the process now with a bunch of guns that we had to get commercial agents reports on observable details to submit to rectify the stuff ups that CFR has made. Okay, so what we're also seeing now, starting to see now, is the GOSA printouts. Mm-hmm. Okay, so those printouts that we won about almost 2 years ago now, in the South Gauteng High Court action, that the police then changed and said, okay, you can get a print, you can go and collect your firearm on a printout now before the license arrives.
I haven't even noticed.
People are starting to forget about this. DFOs are starting to forget about this. So we get DFOs now refusing to make printouts because you've got to wait for your license card. Again, guys, we don't want to have to do this. Please, if the police tell you that, tell them to get lost. Please refer them to the directive. That was a hard one directive on our part. We really, you know.
If you've got any questions, phone Cynthia and she'll tell you.
Please phone GOSA Law. GOSA Law will straighten you out. We'll straighten them out. I had a DFO on the phone to me yesterday, quite interestingly. Phoned me from Melkbosstrand, not Melkbosstrand.
Somewhere.
Oh hell.
Doesn't matter.
We stayed there last year. Anyway, from down there on the West Coast somewhere. So I had the DFO on the phone, Sergeant Isaacs. And he was fighting with our member down there about something or other, and we had a very nice discussion. And he recognized GOSA, and he recognized my name, and he was very happy to talk to me. And we had a lacquer discussion about what constitutes the firearms which are intestate, firearms which are in an estate. And how they should be dealt with, and also about periods of competency, where he had been convinced beforehand that a Section 13 firearm, if a person has a competency for a handgun and they've got a Section 13 firearm, that their competency is only good for 5 years, the old saw. So we had that out with him in a very nice way, in a very constructive discussion. And he accepted our point of view, and he thanked me for the assistance, and it was sorted out. So gradually, we're getting our name out there. We're getting our reputation out there. Is that we deal fairly. We don't try and jump all over the police where they're misinformed. We try to inform them. We try to assist.
But this week it was talking about estate firearms. We had an interesting one in Tax Shack this week. One of my clients bought a lady whose mom has died.
Yes.
And she's had a Taurus revolver. She was born in 1945, so she was not a young lady. She was still playing soccer apparently shortly until she died. But she was running a beer.
Playing soccer is dangerous.
Beer,
she had a license from Leopard Breweries, which nobody knows about, but Leopard Breweries was a big Bantu beer manufacturer, and they had concessions in the hostels. and she owned one of those concessions.
That's why she got a firearm.
And it was obviously that's a lot. You know, just between you and I, that must be a license to print money.
Yeah.
But anyway, she ran this concession, this beer hall concession in Deepcliff Hostel for a long time, for many years, and she had her own firearm because anyway. But
she had to appeal a couple of times.
Yeah,
there was a couple of appeals letters in the paperwork.
Yes, that was quite interesting. She was refused at first, and she appealed, and she got a firearm.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was possible back in the 80s.
Yeah.
It's possible today.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So where do we go from here?
Okay. So.
And now it's over to you. Before you interrupt me, let me turn over the floor to you.
Okay.
And I won't interrupt you.
Are you sure? Please, yeah. Stay me down. So we have set, there might be more, but we've set our introduction to handguns, which is very popular for the rest of the year. Our first one is going to be on the 25th of May, then the next one on the 27th of July, then we're going to do, I think there was a date, and now I have to take my glasses off, the 5th of October, because we couldn't do it at the end of September because
of August.
Couldn't do it end of August, and we couldn't do it because there was a Nationals on, so that's why we went on to the 5th of October rather than the end of the month.
Okay.
And then the last one for the year will be the 30th of November. This is all going to be at Cecil Payne, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and there's a lot of ladies that's looking forward to it. Another thing, I think we are winning one by one. We are winning the minds of people. So today we were at a business woman breakfast, and I spoke about, and I think all of the people thought I was talking about firearms, but I was actually talking about situational awareness. Because my big thing is that you have to avoid. Your last option is basically taking action with your firearm. And what is important is to normalize the way people in the community see firearms.
Yeah.
And that is, each and every time we do something like that, we speak to maybe some ladies, and those ladies speak to somebody else, and firearm ownership is not the pariah in the community that it's taken
anymore. To be,
and I can see
that it's portrayed to be.
Absolutely, and I can see the changes, but it's slowly but surely over the years that we can actually start talking about firearms in women's meetings, where it used to be a taboo to actually speak to ladies.
Very important work.
Absolutely. So there's a photo. I think Hannes has put it up. We also have a Krav Maga for both.
Krav Maga.
We're not going to start that again.
Yes, we are.
Between, I'm not saying it again, so then he can't correct me. So we're going to start that at Tax Shack's offices. There's going to be a female instructor, Nell Fleming. She's absolutely awesome lady, also carries a firearm. She's going to lead that, and we're going to have Alan from the men's side, and we are going to have an introduction to that. I'm not saying it again, so you can't correct me.
Krav.
Krav. It is complementary to what we do, because sometimes it's
that niches.
It's niche together. So the introduction starts on the 5th of April every Friday evening from about 6:30 to 8:30, and we're looking forward to a good relationship between us and the Krav Maga, and I'm not going to say
Krav Maga.
CQC Academy with Alan Mann and Nell Fleming. So please, ladies and gents, please support us in this as well. I think we've got some other very, very interesting stuff coming up.
So we're actually using this as an opportunity to take our new facilities that Tax Shack has been building over the last couple of years, to take those into use. So we've got indoor range, 2 big indoor ranges, and we've got a training room. And the guys are right now, as we speak, finishing the the epoxy floor in our new vault extension. But that'll all be sealed off by the time the people start coming in here for the Krav Maga and anything else. But we'll start using that venue for all sorts of other things, for stop the bleed courses
fire protection.
Fire protection, all of those sort of things. Digital security, IT security.
With my bolas and that. Because
so we'll start doing all of those kind of security-oriented, safety type lectures in this area. We can do all of that here.
So, anything else, Paul?
Guys, no. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, it was like it chatting to you, and we'll see you next week.
Nice seeing you all. Bye.